Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything related to sports news, NBA news. We talk about classic debates, and we just give you a fresh perspective on sports and the way we see it. In today's episode, the topic is, can Pascal Siakam turn into the star that the Toronto Raptors need him to be in order to win? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. And also don't forget to check out the Dreamerspro Podcast. We have that linked in the description below. And also we're linking our Facebook page, so just please go on there and follow us on Facebook. We would really appreciate that. With that being said, let's just get straight into the content here. So, you know that the NBA Finals are almost here. And I think we pretty much know who's going to go to the finals. It's most likely going to be the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers, and I'm picking the Lakers to win, but anything can happen. So I'm already looking towards next season because, this is not the ideal matchup I would have had in the NBA Finals. So I'm looking ahead to next season, and I want to focus on Pascal Siakam for a moment because there was a lot of things surrounded the whole, Pascal Siakam this season in the Toronto Raptors, just given the last 2 years that they've had. As far as winning the championship last year and then going into this season. And so I just want to touch on that for a little bit. So let's talk about Pascal Siakam. Okay, Pascal Siakam is one of the most liked players in the NBA. And he's been one of these guys that's always seemed to be improving as his career went on. Now, if we look at his career averages, think about this. As Pascal Siakam came into the league, he wasn't very heralded. Now, granted, Masai Ujiri, who's one of the smarter GMs in all of basketball, he was the one that sort of found him and brought him to the Toronto Raptors and believed in him. And when he got into the NBA, in his first season, the guy was basically playing 15 minutes a game. He was averaging 4.2 points a game. He shot 50% from the field, but granted, he only took 3.5 shots a game. Shot 14% from the three, 68% from the free throw line. But as his career continued to go on, Pascal Siakam continued to develop his game. And in 2000, I think it was in 2019, he won the Most Improved Player of the Year award, which was something, which was a welcoming sign for him. The following season, he averaged 7.3 points, which isn't great, but it's an improvement. The next year, in 2018-2019, is really when he had his breakout year, where he averaged 16.9 points, essentially 17 points a game that season. He shot 55% from the field. He shot 37% from the three-point line. He shot 78.5% from the field. And he got you about 7 rebounds a game, 3 assists, and a damn near 1 steal a game and 0.9 steals a game. And he really improved his game. And there's some context to these numbers because that was the season him and the Toronto Raptors ended up making their run at the title when they acquired Kawhi Leonard. So Pascal Siakam started to really get better and really improve at the right time, just when the team needed him. Because remember, at the time they had, Kyle Lowry, he was there, and others, and they had traded away DeMar DeRozan and brought in a superstar to their team. So they needed to have that third consistent scorer because Kyle Lowry in the past has been one of these up and down guys. But, however, he's a winner. He has winners intangibles. He's extremely competitive. He plays great defense. He's a very smart point guard, and he's one of these guys that you want in the foxhole with you when you're trying to win basketball games, especially deep in the playoffs. And he showed you that he is just a flat-out winner. All he needed was the right star alongside him to really get the results that he really needed. I mean, that he really desired. So that was sort of the situation with him. So what happened? The team, they ended up making it to the finals, and Pascal Siakam performed very well, and the team won. Now, granted, there was some games where he was up and down, but given, due to the fact that the guy hadn't been in the league for more than even 5 years, it's expected that you can have, subpar games, right? Kawhi has had subpar games in the finals, and a few years ago when they were playing against the Miami Heat, he missed some big free throws to really clinch that series for them. So because he was a young guy, so he was a fairly young player in the NBA. No one holds that against you. So what happened? They won the championship, and Pascal Siakam looked like a very promising sign for the Toronto Raptors moving into the future. So that offseason, Kawhi Leonard ended up leaving the team. But there's more to it. According to sources, according to stories that I heard about, Kawhi was willing to either go to the Clippers or the Lakers or stay in Toronto. And they said he seriously considered staying in Toronto. However, he wanted the team president, Masai Ujiri, to pull the trigger on trading away Pascal Siakam for another star. And I think the star that it came down to was, funny enough, Paul George. Okay, they wanted to get Paul George in return for Pascal Siakam. And Masai Ujiri said no. He said, no, he's not willing to make that trade. And given how Paul George performed in the playoffs, it looks like Masai most likely made the right decision. But we don't know that for sure, because if you bring Paul George into this team, the Toronto Raptors, given the culture they already had, a different coach, who's to say they wouldn't have gone back-to-back and won the title? So I'm not going to say that, right? But given what we saw with Paul George with the Clippers, some people may say, thank God we didn't trade for him, but we don't know that. But anyway, so Masai decided to stick with Pascal Siakam. Now, with Masai willing to do that and essentially allowing Kawhi to walk, I think he pushed a lot of his chips to the middle of the table and said, hey, listen, Pascal, Kawhi's gone, right? And we're going to really need you to blossom into a great player. So what happened? He did that. He improved once again. This season, his everything went up. He went from averaging 17 points a game to now averaging 23 points a game, shooting 45% from the field, which makes sense. Why is that? You say, well, his field goal percentage went down. Well, obviously, because he was attempting more shots. The season before, he was attempting 12 shots a game. This season, he was attempting 18 shots a game. So you shoot more, you're most likely going to miss more. It makes sense. He was shooting 36% from the three-point line, 1 percentage point down. But this season, he was averaging 3 more attempts. He was averaging 6 attempts versus the 3 that he was averaging last season. And he was shooting a better free throw percentage of 79%. He was getting you more rebounds with 7.3 rebounds and 3.5 assists. And he was now also getting you 1 steal and basically 1 block, which basically I think turned him into an all-star. And I think he ended up making an all-star team. So Pascal Siakam improved. If we look at the numbers, he improved. And up until that point, Masai Ujiri's gamble worked, right? He bet on him and the guy improved. And the Toronto Raptors, I believe, had the number 2 seed. I believe it was the number 2 seed. You can correct me if I'm wrong. In the Eastern Conference. Fantastic. So they were able to pull that off. Now, we get into the playoffs, right? And this is where you really know if the gamble you made is really, really going to pay off. And in the playoffs, I think Pascal Siakam did not live up to what the expectations were, at least within the organization, right? He wasn't the star that they expected. Now, obviously, when Kawhi left, you saw the difference in the team in the playoffs, right? The difference Kawhi made. But any team you remove a superstar from, obviously the team is not going to be as good as they were before. And we saw that. So the question is Pascal Siakam good enough to be that dude? Can he develop into being the star on the team, the lead star on the team, to win an NBA championship? And for me, it begs the question, is he better as a Robin, right? For me, at this moment, I would say yes. However, you don't want to write the guy off, because one thing we know about Pascal is that he's a hard worker and he's going to improve year in and year out. He's only been in the NBA, guys, for 4 seasons, and he's one of these guys that's really improving. He's not like a Ben Simmons, right? Ben Simmons is great, but Ben Simmons still can't shoot. Pascal is one of these guys that's actually improving. So the question is, do we think that he can actually become the star that the Toronto Raptors need in the future? And for me, I think it's a possibility, but I think we need to give him more time to be able to see if he can blossom into that player that the Toronto Raptors need in order to win. And by win, I mean win a title, or at least be a perennial contender to at least always make it to Eastern Conference Finals. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you think Pascal Siakam can develop into the star that the Toronto Raptors need in order to win another title? Or do you think maybe he's better served as being a Robin and he needs another star? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamers Pro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.